welcome to Warmaster Podcast, episode 204 with Paul and Barry.
Well, hello, listeners.
Hello.
Exciting. We have an exciting episode today.
Well, and a sad episode.
And a sad episode.
Exciting and sad. We're in Paul's man cave. Mm-hmm. It's been about a month since the last episode. Today we're going to have a cavalry discussion.
Long overdue, and an episode that we've wanted to record for a while. And I think this is the current topic of the topic of the game. I would say.
De jour, or whatever.
Topic de jour, yeah. As in, we're going to set out what a thing is and explain like what is happening, what we've seen in events, and put our thoughts about it.
Okay. So that's where we're going to go. We're going to start. Did you have any stuff to talk about, or are we going to start with Matthew?
Yeah, let's start with
Matthew. Okay, so unfortunately we had some bad news. Matthew Street, who helped with the journal and also on the Revolution's compendium, unfortunately passed away earlier this month.
Yes, he did.
It was very sad, and his funeral's on Friday.
Yep.
So it's been a bit of a weird month, kind of like dealing with stuff like that, because he was younger than me. He was probably more like your age. I think I don't know.
I'm not sure.
It did come out of nowhere.
Yeah. So I know he had sickness, but I thought that he was perhaps wasn't as serious as that.
There was no hint of it being this.
Serious. But the way that the world is nowadays, I saw it the newsman on Facebook, and then I got PM'd about had I heard, and of course it's just the statement of Paul Matthew passing away.
Yeah, I mean it's yeah. So it's with Facebook being what it is. Not that I'm on Facebook, but it's quite hard to find things out.
Yeah.
So there's still very limited information of what's occurred.
And also, obviously, we're not family, so that's personal, isn't it?
And I think he did a relatively good job of keeping his family and hobby life separate.
Yeah.
So Anyway, so his funeral is on Friday.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, I was talking to Alice about the compendium when he was putting it together, and he was asking about what he was going to do with the cover.
Yep.
And I was speaking to Matthew at the same time about something similar, and he suggested we take the cover from Mighty Empires, which was a GW product
with MB Games.
No. It's like I don't think it was MB.
I think it was a collaboration, wasn't it?
No, it was like the Hex.
No. Like the company, it wasn't just Games Workshop only, was it? I think it was with another.
I don't know about that. So it was like a hex-based, like campaign system.
Yes, yeah.
Firstly in cardboard, and then later on they did it in like sculpt, like molded plastic bits with different sculpts on them. Mm-hmm. It was called Mighty Empires, and he said it would be quite amusing if we because it was out of copyright, so it was done hundreds of years ago.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's how it ended up on the front cover. And then as part of that discussion, I mentioned to Alice that maybe Matthew could do some of the artwork, and because we'd had some issues with GW and a cease and desist, so those two got together, and part of his legacy now is the art.
Exactly. I mean, it is terribly tragic, and me and Barry will both be at the funeral, work permitting for me, and it's so sad. It's like it almost like I can't see it, I don't believe it, as in terms of, you hear that kind of news and it's like, oh, well, I'll just catch up with him next time he's at an event or something. He's just one of the regular faces.
So we didn't spend a great deal of time together physically, but he was a socialist and he supported Jeremy Corbyn me. And he was a Liverpool fan, so whenever we were playing like a big game or there was some controversy, we were always kind of like messaging about shit about football. Mm-hmm. And it's just weird that you kind of like those conversations just have now ended. Yeah. And it still doesn't feel real, because if you only contact someone through Facebook,
exactly,
or it was like WhatsApp or Messenger or whatever, then when that goes, it's kind of like
your digital footprint's still there, but you're not, isn't it? It's very because profiles exist beyond you, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they get immortalised or something. So anyway, his funeral's on Friday, and I'm trying to not get too down about it. Yeah. But so we'll go along. Well, I'll definitely go along, and Paul's work permitting will go along. Mm-hmm. And hopefully he lives on through his art. He did an episode he was just so incredibly talented. He wasn't the world's. I'll be honest with you. Lots of painters aren't the world's greatest at actually playing the game, and he probably fell into that category a little bit, that he was more interested in the hobby side, the painting side. But the fucking painting he did
this is his work here.
just.
So we have a unit here that he painted, and it's like the detail. The detail on the banner it's art.
It's just beyond bonkers.
Yeah, it's better than a transfer. Yeah, it's like how do you feel? It's like look at it. It's amazing.
Well, I didn't know you bought some of your stuff. I know he made you when there was a Warmaster Ancients tournament that I think Janaz arranged, and he created some art pieces. And,
as prizes. yeah.
Which I mean, because it must have taken like dozens of hours to do
exactly. It's like
So you've got a couple of pieces.
I've got 2 pieces up there that are his.
I know Janaz has got some pieces.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm.
And So I was talking to him about getting his stuff published. Now they only so he could sell it like personally, like canvases or whatever.
Yeah.
But just never came around. Never got round to it. So he did have some health issues, but nothing.
Well, I mean, but we guess we just didn't know, and it's just terribly sad, really, and it's like it's not something we like. It's just horrible. Really.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. Anyway, okay, we'll try to get on to like brighter, more happy topics. Anything coming from the interworlds, interwebs? It's been a month. I mean, we've been playing a bit of Blood Bowl. I'm now top of Paul's league,
which is outrageous. Yeah, I mean, we are playing each other next in our side of the league in Blood Bowl. It is me versus Barry. No, little 19s because my team cost £19. That's why it's got 19.
And that's why there's no fucking miniature manufacturers left.
Against the funk phenomenon, like a shambling undead team. When you went for that name because?
Oh, it's my IP, isn't it?
It's your IP.
It's like
fair enough.
You'd have to watch the video and you'll explain.
But it would be good to record that game on camera. That would be good because we have a rare opportunity where we actually have to play for a reason, that isn't just for fun, and it'd be good to record that.
I mean, what I have to say in advance of the game is it's quite difficult to beat high elves at Blood Bowl scoring. I might beat them up.
Yeah, you'll probably beat them up. Yeah.
I might get more SSP or whatever they call it. I might end up. I mean, because only 2 people from the leagues get knocked into the knockout, so for me, it's as much about developing the team as it is about winning the games.
And it should be because the what we have 18 players playing in this Blood Bowl league in 2 divisions, and the top 2 players in each division qualify. Everyone but the bottom 2 has to get to a playoff, and if you're in the bottom 2, you've really lost all your games. Even getting 1 or 2 wins will qualify you for the playoffs and the knockouts. But at the moment in Dodge, the side of the league, Barry is 1 and 2, purely by dint of games played, I will say.
Yes, but I will tell you that my first. By the way, I've played 6 games. 1 friendly against Paul on camera, and 5 real games, and I'm still to win a kickoff. So. My first game against Phil was the worst game of Blood Bowl I've ever played in my life. I got 1 SPP apart from the MVP, and that was for a turn 8 throw between 2 of my players. And that's my only loss. And it was just like, Blood Bowl can be the weirdest game.
It can be, So
now I'm top of the league, having played more games.
Because there's a bye because our side of the league has an odd number of players, so I've had my bye basically. I've had to wait for Barry to
So if I have to give a prediction, I'd probably say Paul's going to win 3-1. But how much damage can I do to his team?
It's more about that. I think. Touch wood. I think I will win.
I'm sure you'll win on touchdowns.
But again, it's about what
does
it cost me to win?
So just to let you know, Paul's developed a high elf thrower that's basically can throw like the length of the bastard pitch on a 4-up with a reroll.
He's Mekisenko the Humble.
Great name.
He starts really good, and he's learned 1 skill, Cannoneer. So he's doing a long pass on a 3-up with a reroll, which is pretty reliable.
And can't really be intercepted.
If you do intercept it because of Cloudburster, you've got to re-roll it.
It's normally a 6 to intercept.
It's normally a 6,
So just 2 6s.
Just 2 6s, to get that intercept. And so it's like, he's better.
And then you've got to catch it anyway.
Oh, hang on, it's 2 minus 2. Oh, no. So that's right. He is better at long passing than he is at short passing.
So if kill him early.
No, I don't want him to die. I need to hide him. He normally plays so far back that he can't actually be got at by anybody on the other team.
Just runs away if they come near.
Yeah, and then he went, because when he's got the ball, he can then throw it from that far away. It's a good tactic. It's worked well. He's done 9 completions so far.
Strangely, my Bash team have lost 2 players. Yeah. A white, Michael Jackson. Yeah. He had 5 SPP, and Easy E from NWA.
No.
He went with no SPP last game. First block.
I've been fairly lucky. I haven't lost anyone off squad. I've had some injuries, but nothing off squad.
I'm supposed to have rating. It's not supposed to happen to me. 50-50. It's
not going to happen.
But we will see. So we've got a game tomorrow. It'll be on camera. If it doesn't bastard overheat. But it looks quite cool today.
No, I think it'll be fun.
I know, I'm fucking... Yeah. We'll stop at half time.
Yeah. And we'll check everything's recording,
Okay. So we're playing Blood Bowl. That's been decent.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, and people say that this edition's better. I'm not sure it is any better. I think
really,
the changes they've made probably make the game overall worse.
No.
The passing rules are bollocks.
Well, they made it so the thrower is the guy that can only really throw the ball.
But some teams don't have them.
But some teams don't have it. And anybody else who ain't a thrower is at best throwing a 4+ on a quick ball.
But passing was awful anyway.
Yeah,
now it's
too harsh. Like, for example, my thrower comes with a skill called Safe Pass, which means that if he fumbles it, he doesn't throw it. He doesn't drop the ball.
Right, that's brilliant.
So it doesn't cause a turnover.
Right.
So you go to throw the ball, you roll, end up with a natural 1, and he just holds on to it. And if it wasn't, so then you can try and mitigate, like ends his activation, but it doesn't turn over. So then you can try and be a bit safe with it, mitigate that happening. I mean, maybe Safe Pass should be on every thrower, like for the better of the game. He came with it as a skill.
Yeah, but you paid for it in his profile.
Yeah, I suppose so. But I've noticed that actually that is the worst thing about throwing is that turnover. At least that's
1 in 6 chance of fucking turnover.
Yeah. Hard stop there. So
apart from that passing thing, a lot of the new teams they've brought in are either really, really, really shit or really fucking horrible to play against. Really,
I suppose.
So like Snotlings, for example, they're a relatively new team.
Yeah.
And they were known as shit to play against.
Yeah, I mean, but no one would have predicted that Gnomes were going to be a team. Like,
but they're on the opposite end, aren't they?
Yeah, they're terrible, but no one would have predicted them as a team. Like,
no, but I played against Nobility this week, and even though I won 2-0, it was a horrible game. It's just this team has been designed they're like wasps. They're just these really irritating things that just it's like nothing you do normally works.
No.
Everything's got fucking wrestle and fend.
It should do. Mm-hmm.
So you end up targeting the blitzer, who's supposed to be the star player, because he's the only guy that doesn't have any of the stupid fucking skills.
That's the first skill he's got to learn.
Yeah, because the fence prevents you from following up, which is really irritating. Mm-hmm. When you're trying to set up pushes and blocks and stuff, and 2-on-1 blocks and all that shit. And the 4 of the other guys have stand firm and wrestle, which means they ain't even fucking moving.
No, they ain't moving. Yeah, not unless they're dead. They ain't moving.
It's just like, they do dog shit, because they've got no skills, but just annoying.
Before we move to the actual Warmaster content,
there's no Warmaster content.
So for my 2 cents about to Blood Bowl is that all the extra stuff that's in the extra rules that are in the almanacs are all really good, but no one ever uses them.
I mean, are you sure there's not one rule that's not very good?
Not one. And then
all 5 extra books are all full of stuff that's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, but no one uses it. Then the second thing, the main issue of Blood Bowl is that it's a single D6 system. So it uses a 6-sided dice for the blocking and the armor rolls and the abilities. If they were D8s, you'd have more increments of success, and that would make it a better game. It would make block and dodge less prevalent, less, what's the right word? Overpowering, prevalent. Yeah. If block affected 1 result in 8 rather than 1 in 6, it would still be good, but not so good. And same.
Well, how would this dice even work? We're going off topic now.
I'm going
to explore Paul's mentality now.
Yeah,
you've got an 8-sided dice. You've got 1 skull.
You've got what? No, 2 skulls and 2 pals.
So you've got 2 skulls, 2 pals.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what?
The same. So one of each of the other results. Okay. So
that's really bad. That means you're going down 1 in 4 now.
Yeah.
And if you're going uphill, it's going to get even worse than that. It's going to be like 50% chance of going down.
Yeah. I think I don't know. Like obviously,
and if you're a mummy, if you're a mummy rolling 2 dice, you've got 50% chance of the pound.
Exactly. That is what I would.
Mummies would be deadly.
Yeah, but that's
ogres would be deadly.
That's what I would try, or at least do, because while it's limited to a D6 and block and dodge with the way they are, or you'd have to make block and dodge not exist, or block and dodge very hard to get. Nobody's core skill, like no one can get block and dodge as a core skill. Okay. Like I don't know, like they're too easy. It really, if you're playing Blood Bowl seriously, no matter when you develop a player, no matter what the player is, they get block and dodge.
Well, they get blocked first.
Yeah, well, whatever. But like, is it like if they because if like
unless you're an elf, dodge is only good defensively.
Yeah, but is it the fact that they're passive skills and they're always helping you ultimately keep the player up? Nothing's better than that. Mm-hmm.
Nothing's better than block. Mm-hmm. No. Okay, right, cool. So no more Blood Bowl.
No more.
Mm-hmm. I've said it to piece. Well, okay. So you still love it? I'm not so sure.
What?
Blood Bowl.
Oh yeah, I enjoy it in a league, but I just also realise that the league I would want to play, which would have all of that stuff in it. I love the referee rules; they're hilarious.
Well, it's never going to happen. So.
Yeah, it's never going to happen. So there you go.
Stop buying the books. Stop being a mug. Right. Anything news from the interwebs before we move on to the discussion?
Just that there's an event at the end of the month that I'll be attending, the Summer Sizzler. I won.
It's on the South Coast.
Yeah, I won the Winter Warmer the first time it ran. That's up close to Nottingham. That's
it's the other one, sorry.
So I won it last time. It's the first time it's run. It's happening on the 30th of August. And yeah, I'll be going.
Okay.
Booked leave, I'll be going.
Excellent.
I don't know what I'm going to take. I'm really haven't thought about that at all. But I have
I
have a few armies to choose
not
from.
Just fucking making
of course. No, I have a few armies to choose from. So
no, one of Paul's special test armies.
One of test armies, yeah.
Attention! If you need to get your miniatures safely from point A to point B, then get yourself a KR multi-case. KR multi-cases come in all manner of different shapes and sizes and have gamer-friendly pricing. So do yourself a favour and get yourself a KR multi-case today. Soft foam, hard cases.
Right, so we're back here and we're going to discuss the Cavalry.
So, the premise we have, essentially you would say...
People have been badgering that.
Yeah, so Cavalry in Warmaster, is it a problem? Now, so the caveat that, what I have noticed in events, and what we both noticed really, is that people are starting to take lists where they're taking just Cavalry and nothing else.
Well, you're seeing they're trying to force a change in the meta.
So what I mean is the one that sticks out the most is you take 10 units of cavalry, 10 units of heavy cavalry, and regardless of the race, you can do that across a few races, but also to the point where even some things where you think, like an Empire army, you would think, people will always take cannons. I've seen some lists where, they didn't take that.
You've got to defend them, haven't you? That's
they took the minimum of the infantry, and then they took knights, the rest of it, because knights aren't capped min or max. And they played the event with 10 units of, or 12 units of Empire knights.
Didn't win though.
No, they did not win. But it's so essentially, is cavalry just... This is the issue. It's as people play the game more in events, which is obviously great, but steel sharpens steel, and is it getting to the point where even though Warmaster has a great system of army building where you have some core troops, that is it actually just going to end up... We're going to come to a conclusion where it's you just take the heavy cavalry option as much as you can and nothing else matters.
I think apart from Bretonnian, I don't think anybody else really has cavalry as core troops.
No. Bretonnians are the only ones that I think have
the heavy,
which
knights.
Makes sense because that's what they are.
And then they've had a habit of just running all knights.
Yes, and strangely, that seems okay with Bretonnians because of what Bretonnians are.
Yeah.
But as I say,
and the fact that they break on their knights.
Yeah. So that's our premise. Is this an issue? Is it actually a problem at all, or it's and we're going to talk about that as a discussion and come up with some conclusions about it, that how we might address it, for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first thing you have to discuss is which bit of the cavalry are you complaining about? Because I don't hear many people complain about medium cav.
No.
I don't hear people complain about Rhinox, which is the other end.
Yeah.
I hear people say, don't take them.
Yeah.
There's traps. Even though they've been reduced in price, you've got your crazy 5-4, 5+.
Yep.
With monstrous charge.
Yep.
So 21 attacks on the charge, or whatever fucking nonsense it is.
Yeah.
For 200 points.
Yep.
People don't complain about those.
Do not complain.
People complain about Chaos Knights a little bit.
Well, they've reduced in points.
Yeah,
but,
but I mean, they're hard to take on.
Yeah, hard to.
But I mean, you generally get almost 2 units per unit of Chaos Knight if you're going to look at them.
Yeah.
So is it just Knights? Is that where the problem is? Is that what the perceived... Or is it boys?
I think it's because that profile of a 3-3-4 plus cavalry model is very good bang for, is very good points efficient, and I think that it's spammable.
Yeah.
And that is the issue about it. It's spammable and it achieves results because
there's
very few armor modifiers in Warmaster, so that 4+ armor can get you out of situations. You can obviously fail your dice, but you could pass. It's not in the realms of how many fights how many games have we played where a combat's won because you spiked the dice and got all your 4+ armor saves.
Oh yeah, or just most. Yeah. But are we saying they're that much better than ball boys?
I think overall they probably are.
I think they probably are.
Because I've always found with ball boys is they'll definitely mess up what they attack, but they will lose a stand or two, and then they're much less effective afterwards.
Well, they can't come back, can they? Because they get harder and harder to order. You just use initiative initiative. And then...
So I just find that they're great at a one-on-one situation, but a Warmaster game isn't that way. So they end up, so they're used and they're like bullets. They're fired. You can't fire that bullet again. That's the thing about that bullet is it's spent. But cavalry, 4+ cavalry. When used correctly and well, or allowed to be used correctly and well, is they wipe out stuff very quickly in a fight. They reform. They're fresh. They go again.
Yeah, I think we've talked about in the past that 5 cavalry of any size, even right up to the Rhinox down to you can class chariots in these as well, or the 110 point on the Tomb King's chariots. It's all the same. That 5 up armor, it does a lot of damage still. But it just wears itself out way quicker. It shouldn't, because your only thing is the difference between 5 and 4, but it does.
I think because with the sense we're getting with Warmaster, we're getting to the point where there are enough events happening, there are enough people playing it, and there are people that look at the event game from lots of different angles. Some completely fluff, and others from a competitive way.
Yeah,
is that the way the Warmaster rules are is that you don't, for example, you don't carry if you after a fight has happened. And you reform and you have a combat phase where you're not in combat, so your troops recover. You don't carry those wounds anymore,
and that's the great strength of Chaos.
That's what I'm saying. So 4+ cavalry. So they go into a fight and they take 2 wounds and they've won the fight. If they decide not to pursue or they don't advance, they recover those 2 wounds. And 2 wounds back on a 4+ armor unit is obviously a lot better than 2 wounds back on a 0 armor or a 6+ armor because they're much harder to lose. So it's addressing the core rules of Warmaster. Things are starting to poke it a bit in terms of but it's inevitable. No rule set will be perfect,
it's
and there are going to be some things which are good at it.
So if my knights charge your high elves, Empire, whatever, so I do 12 attacks on you. So 6 wounds on average. And that's 3.
And if you roll enough dice, you do get averages.
So 6 hits on average, 3 wounds, you lose a stand.
Yep.
And coming back to me, 9, 4.5, 2.25. 2.25. So on normal dice, I won't lose a stand.
You won't lose a stand, and then you've won the combat. You don't have to pursue, so you are still intact, fresh. I've lost a stand.
But there is a chance because the 2.25 it could round up to 3, and I could lose a stand.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go in with the 4 hits. Mm-hmm. You're very unlikely to lose a stand.
No, that's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but what does that mean for the game?
Well, we're talking about a subject here that it's and this is a subject we've been requested to talk about, and we wanted to talk about it earlier than we have done. So, but it is is there actually a problem? And we talked offline before we recorded. We have some solution. Like,
but is it a problem?
But is it a problem in the first place? Because if
you're fighting on an open field without terrain and without objectives, of course it's a fucking problem.
Yeah, of course, massive problem.
Massive, because half of the things that keep the knights or any cavalry or chariots in check are the terrain.
It's terrain. Now, alongside these lists that have shaped them, that are going very heavy cavalry, we're going to speak for the UK because we live in the UK. Is that the tournament scene in the UK is getting more. The table's getting more scenery, which is good, and they're getting a base level of a lot of scenery, which is good. And I obviously, I love scenery. I love all of it. And I wrote the document that I've put out there. Winter Roller has a guide on how much scenery Game of Warmaster should have. Obviously, these are dependent on organisers having it and your own collections. But in events that I run or events that I'm often now taking part in, I'm taking. I imagine for this one we just spoke about, this Summer Sizzler, I'll be taking a lot of scenery with me. Because it's transportable, and then all the tables have a decent quality. So every table will have at least somewhere for infantry to go.
Okay, so on a slight tangent, the problem with reacting to tournament play. So you say, tournaments are doing X, so we should respond to that.
Yeah.
Well, then what should happen is if you just ignore the engine of the game is fine.
Yeah.
Say tournaments should respond to that by doing things like putting fucking objectives in terrain.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
So the tournaments can correct all this because if I played a game once at the Tri-Wiz and. The guy just hid in terrain. And there was no game to be had.
There's no game to be had,
So I just went and got lunch and gave him because what am I going to do? It's like, there's no game to be had. You're not going to come out, I'm not going to go in.
So, and you're right, because at the moment, the tournament scenarios I've written, it
has to be out of terrain.
Exactly.
So they say you've got to be out of terrain. So if you give me the choice, I'll put it in fucking terrain. Get in there with all your knights. You can't, can you?
Can't. Yeah, exactly. So... Exactly. These are things to consider on lots of angles.
So do you kind of panic about the fact that the game's it hasn't been forced tournament wise. There's been no 400 player events, so you can't say that it's been pushed to its limits because it hasn't.
No, it has not. No.
But it is relatively robust, and the kind of places that it goes wrong are like if you leave. Like you're playing a pitch battle or whatever with no terrain.
Yeah,
that's never. You're kind of pushing people down one avenue, aren't you? If you want somebody that can, because the thing about cavalry is they can hit you way further than you can with infantry, 90 centimeters
in a straight line. Definitely.
You can fucking hit turn one. If somebody even comes forward of the line,
it's one of the few games where you can have troops that you can have units that don't set up differently, normal setup. You could attack on turn one.
If you move forward on that line, the Dark Elf player can punch your face in with 6 cold ones, turn fucking one.
Can do it.
Turn one.
There's probably even not so ridiculous.
Well, the last order's pretty strong. The character hasn't moved.
It's theoretically possible.
With 4, even with 1 set orders, that's 4 units of cold ones in your Murray.
Yep. Smash, smash, smash.
So, my first suggestion would be use the tournament packs to call whatever it is that's annoying you.
Gonna make some notes. Carry on.
But then we have to see, because if you just go straight and say, well, fucking hell, the silver helms and stuff should be more expensive, because you think that should happen. Silver helms should be more expensive. Because that's the knee-jerk reaction. You either reduce the quantity, and we've kind of done that with your high elves, or you say they've got to be more expensive. So you make them more expensive. What about medium cavalry now? Are you saying medium cavalry have to be more expensive? Because now there's already 40 points between them.
So I think
20
correct
points
one
between
thing
them.
and you create a problem somewhere else.
Because then what happens? And we've been pushing some of the lighter cavalry's price down. And then if you say, we've got to push it up, so maybe what then happens to cold ones?
Yeah, exactly.
And then what happens to the Dark Elf Warlords? And then what happens to the Chaos Warriors? And then what happens to the Rhinox Riders? You start pushing everything back up again.
Quite right.
So at the end of the day, the Silverhelm profile has lasted in its current form since 2000.
So some other context of when in the last set of Warmaster committee stuff, we've adjusted how much cavalry high elves can take. And yeah,
I thought it was quite draconian, going from unlimited to 6.
yes, and that's what we did. High elves. So before, but we should explain this to people who are listening.
I mean, if you
yeah.
so those episodes, for a start.
High elves had no limit on silver helms.
Yeah,
and you could definitely spam silver helms. You could have 10 units of silver helms.
I've run them with 11 or 12.
Yeah,
so.
And we changed it to a cap of 3, so 6 in a 3,000 point. But of course, in isolation, that profile is across a lot of armies. Let's say like Empire, for example. Empire haven't been capped. Because our pace of change that in Warmaster, we have rules on how much we can change each year. In the point of that, we don't change a lot. We can't change a lot.
Well, you don't want to go through.
Exactly.
You don't want to go through the process of every year having to unpick what you did last year because it was completely wrong.
And also, you don't want a GW 3-year cycle of a completely new game every time. So at the moment, the Eye of Sauron has focused on High Elves
for the 4th time, at least. At least.
Done this to them, but it's not looked at other things. So, because you could say, well,
so we haven't done this to any other entry really on this level.
No,
taken something that's absolutely completely unlimited, and now putting like a hard cap.
So something that the original rules as written, made it certainly seem that like there's High Elf silver helms aren't a limited stock thing in a High Elf army, but we've made them, in the same.
And we've pushed them down to the level that Dark Elf cold ones are at.
Yeah.
So now potentially if you're an elf player, you go I can get 6 cold ones who are superior to silver helms.
Yeah.
For sure. They pay a little bit more, but they're better.
Yeah.
And if I'm a Lizardman player, I'm actually quite happy because I could only ever have 4.
Yeah.
It was hard work sometimes with those 4 trying to take on the fucking armies of other people's cavalry that are not much worse than you.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that with us and the rules committee, I think that this is what will keep us interested through the years. We'll always be. It'll be like whack-a-mole. We're like fixing or trying to address something there, and then another thing pops up, and we're like, now we have to hit that one.
Well, without boring people to death, I mean, the High Elves have been nerfed 4 times.
Yes.
And I think you can nerf them 10 times because you're not nerfing the thing that's actually making them OP. Because it's too big a change.
Too big a change. And there are some things that I think.
So at the end of the day, even if you took away Silver Helms, it would just move to chariots.
Yes.
Or reavers, or what the fuck else it is, or just infantry, or whatever it is. Because the power in the High Elf list is not its spell list anymore. It's not even its shooting really anymore. It doesn't really do anything that special. I mean, apart from the archers, which are really expensive hitting on 3s, they're just like fucking Tomb King skeleton shooting.
So next phase.
Are you worried about the push up or the push down? I don't think you can move points without there being like massive implications to the game.
No, I think
you could maybe move up 5 points. You could maybe move up 10 points, but then you make the cold ones just better.
Yeah. I mean, when we change points, we do tend to change them by 5 points. Really, is the smallest increment of a change.
And you'd have to change it for every army that had it. Every single army.
You would. Yeah, it's. I mean, also, with Warmaster, I wouldn't personally at the moment. I'm not in a place where I wouldn't run 10 or 12 units of cavalry.
It doesn't work.
But no, they say I just wouldn't. I don't know. There'd be something in me that wouldn't want to do that.
Right.
But equally, if we saw, you could say that. Well, this isn't actually a problem because events it's not going 1, 2, 3 all cavalry build armies. It's not at the moment.
No,
it's not happening. So you could say, well, that isn't. So actually, it isn't really much of a problem at all because it hasn't become obvious yet. And but it's an interesting subject. It's interesting. It is. Yeah. It's the known knowns of what the game can evolve to, and the known unknowns where it's like, well, it can't evolve to that because that's too much of a change. Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to see people use banners more, and they're coming down in cost. Now, I'm even toying with using, I think it might only be, it's only 20 or 30 points now for a 5+ cavalry unit to become a 4+.
Yeah, the standard is shielding.
So that's really good on Rhinox.
Yeah.
Like properly good. Because they're 5, 4, 5+, which becomes 4+, and for around the same points as they used to be.
I don't think magic items will ever be that 2 drama because they're only single.
But you do
choice
lose them as soon as you use a stand, don't you?
Exactly. Yeah. I think that and also you can't run 2 or 3 banners of shield.
No, you can't.
So I think making uniques is obviously the way the game is always done, allows you to put more theme into your army with other models as you theme them with a magic item. I don't think magic items will ever create too much of an issue. The only one I see that is impactful in a way is that Crown of Command, but you do pay a lot of points for that, and it will break. And it's like
I'd rather more.
Well, you don't rate it. That's what I say. Like
I understand why people use it, but I'd rather. Well, as they say, the banner. I mean. Is it worth 20, 30 points? Probably. But it goes away so quickly.
Yes, yeah.
And then when it's gone, it's
gone.
just like, I mean, it's not that hard to take 4 wounds.
All it means is when that unit dies, it's worth more to your opponent. That's all it means, really. If you're counting victory points.
So we're just trying to deal with the cavalry.
Time to deal with cavalry.
Right. So everything below knights. Mm-hmm. We're kind of there's pressure to push down on points rather than up.
Yeah.
Because infantry have had some boosts.
Yep.
And that's a fact.
Yeah.
Like especially the kind of eliter infantry are like dealing with cavalry a lot better, especially if they can get on a hill or something defended.
Yeah, definitely.
It's only 2 rounds of combat.
2 rounds of combat makes it much better for them. Yeah.
And everything above knights, apart from cold ones, has had pressure to come down.
Yeah.
So. I mean, they're probably in the right place, points-wise, probably. Although, when you compare, like, a unit of knights and a unit of dwarf infantry, they're the same points. Now, do you get the same bang for your buck? You certainly don't get the same punch combat-wise, like reach.
And it's, obviously, it's their place, so they sit in very different armies then, don't they? Yeah, and that is... Then there's, like, how do you balance... Like, if that's the thing, is where do you find points for things when you consider army rules? It's really difficult.
Yeah, so I mean that profile 110 points gets you in infantry. It gets you like an ogre or a black orc or something. It gets you a dwarf.
Yep.
Or it gets you like the rarest of rare Huskarls.
Yeah, it does. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And on the cavalry side, we get a knight.
Yeah.
Now those profiles are very different, and probably if it was just like in the field 1-on-1, the knight would probably win. Probably. Yeah. Against anything, probably.
Probably. If nothing else, it directs more attacks on a smaller frontage.
I mean, if you went in right, you may not even engage all the bases. You just get one support, and you can obviously you've got further to attack them from. So you're going to get the charge.
Yeah, you should.
But then you've got no defended. You've got no support.
Yeah,
they're very different. Mm-hmm. Very different. So, I don't know how much more you want to talk about this, Paul.
Well,
what are people telling you they want their solution to be? I've already said that if you're worried about how it works in tournaments, then the biggest change would be comping using tournament packs. Or tell people in tournament pack you're not taking more than fucking 3 units of knights.
I don't want to do that unless it was.
People do it all the time.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. I personally wouldn't want to do that if that wasn't like in the army list. I was in like because if you can build a problem with the army list, then I would say that there's a problem with the army list, and the army list then would get changed in time by it gets noticed and then gets changed in that sense. But you before off camera you came up with an interesting solution.
Well, I mean it's not my solution, is it? No. I mean if you look at what happened in Warmaster after Warmaster, it went through Ancients, and then it went through Medieval, and then it became other games that we played.
Yeah.
But one of the rules that they came up with because one thing to say. If you go into Ancients, which I'm not the greatest fan of, I've got to be honest, because lots of things about Warmaster that make it interesting and flavourful.
Yeah,
I like the magic, the fucking the fantasy elements.
Yeah,
and there's none of that. So you might get skirmishes, but they're really annoying or whatever. So most cavalry in Ancients are based like infantry.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So
that's the standard way cavalry are done.
You've got your 3, 5 plus cavalry.
Yeah.
And then there's still 90 points, but now they're infantry based.
No, they're infantry based, yeah. And that really makes a difference.
So your profile
because
punch...
if you attack in the flank something, you only get 1 stand of cavalry.
And if you attack in the front, they're attacking with everything back. And you've got no fucking support.
No, you have no support, yeah.
And they might not be that much worse than you.
No.
So when they've got knights, they go short base.
Sure, which is the normal way cavalry are based in Warmaster, yeah.
And I think they might be 120, although I might be making that up. Yeah, I think they went up slightly in price to 120.
Yeah, mostly. I think I agree with you there.
But in order for us to adopt that, we would have to redo all.
And
there are. No. You might think there aren't that many different types of cavalry, but there really are. Especially at the lower end with hobgoblins and all kinds of fucking nonsense.
Changing the orientation on a basing like that that's a change that can't happen in Warmaster because that's too big a change for the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, and it goes all the way down to Chaos Knights, doesn't it?
And the committee really doesn't want to.
We've done it once.
We never, but it doesn't. It rarely wants you to invalidate any models.
No, we did it once with the Centaurs or something.
Yeah, I think that was acceptable in a niche army of a niche unit, but it's that would be way too big a change. Yeah, to do that. Yeah. But what Warmaster Ancients does have on its page 124 has 5 pages of special rules. And these are gleaming. These are, to me...
Well, it's like a treasure trove.
Of
potential solutions.
Stuff comes from Priestley himself.
Yeah, things he found as solutions to problems.
Yeah.
So there's a rule called slow. Which Paul will read
out. So I'll read out the fluff in the rule. The slow special rule applies to units that are exceptionally heavy, armoured, or encumbered for their basic type. In our game, they do not move at a slower rate for other units of the same type, but they are less likely to move repeatedly. This makes them less flexible tactically and represents the exhausting effort of wearing a great deal of armour or carrying a heavy burden. The rule is most commonly applied to Cataphracti cavalry, which was a Persian heavy cavalry.
Yeah.
Heavily armoured riders atop mounted upon armoured horses. So here is rule 1. Slow units suffer an extra -1 command penalty for second and subsequent orders, i.e. first order, no penalty, exactly as other units. Second order, -2 rather than -1, and third order, -3 rather than -2.
Okay. I mean, obviously on top of that, you've got potentially enemy near, not so relevant cavalry, but you've definitely got distance because you're always racking that up with cavalry.
Yeah.
You might get 2 orders in within your bubble.
Yeah.
But then the third order's always outside the bubble.
Yeah.
So you'd be adding at least an extra 1 into this.
Extra 1. Yeah. And that, so we would say that this would apply to any 4+ or better cavalry unit, because you can get a standard shield and make something 3+. So you have to qualify that.
I mean,
like in terms of rules writing, but it's like it would apply to any 4+ cavalry units. They are slow.
They are slow, but unfortunately, as with everything in this game, it tends to impact the Command 10 armies less.
Yes, of course.
The ones. So it's not going to affect orcs because they don't have.
They don't have it. Yeah.
But the Command 9 armies suffer a little bit more.
Yeah. It would make an Empire army worse than High Elf.
But they already are.
And
everything else.
Everything else, never mind. And I really like it as a nice solution. I'm going to try that in an event I run.
Nobody's going to complain about you neutering yourself, are they?
No, exactly. I'm going to see what happens with it. So this rule is saying that heavy cavalry are slow, but you can't make a cavalry unit move less because that's a core rule of Warmaster. But it does represent them. It does make them slower, like worse to move compared to light cavalry, and that makes sense. That makes good logical game sense, doesn't it? If you have a guy that weighs a metric ton or something on all his armour, compared to a guy wearing a bit of leather bodkin and a bow.
The Dothraki.
Yeah, they will move at different speeds, won't they? Once that heavy knight gets up and going, like in a short distance, dangerous. But but built for endurance, like the guy with wearing no weight, surely can move further. So
this is not. This solution wouldn't be something. I mean, you could obviously take it and run with it. Anybody can do whatever they want, but it couldn't go through the committee till next year.
No, God, no. Like, and you would need evidence. You need games played.
The evidence is there. So
but
ancients.
But also, ancients. You'd want Warmaster games.
What difference? What?
I
love this playtested argument. We can have it if you want. Playtesting involves thousands of games in a disciplined, controlled environment, not some random people saying, "Well, I played with it and it was good." Because at the end of the day, if you're saying, "Will this make knights worse?" The answer is yes.
Yes, it would. Yeah.
How much worse?
Yeah.
Don't know. It will make Empire Knights worse than High Elf Knights for fucking sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that's the problem with High Elves. Everything's worse than High Elves. Mm-hmm. You'd have to if you were dealing with infantry, like 3/5 plus infantry. What would you do if you gave this rule to that? Then they'd be worse.
Yeah.
In other lists than they would be.
Also,
Marauders would be worse.
I like the idea that if this became adopted, then that opens the door for other of these brilliant special rules that are in.
But some have already come in.
Yes, some have already come
and
in.
Some came from the Battle of the Five Armies, the Troll special rule.
Yeah. So, because there are some in here which I really like and would love to see in Warmaster as well.
There's one in there that's been mooted to deal with the High Elves. If we're just going to go on a slight tangent again, what's that? It's Hannibal rule.
Hannibal, yeah.
So your command 10, you pay for an upgrade, which basically makes you a High Elf general, and you
keep talking.
you pay you roll your dice, and when you, I don't know if it's a blunder. It may even just fail. I think fail's a bit rough. But if you blunder, you lose your command 10.
That's
and you
right.
become command 9.
Yep.
So it's like nobody gets command 10 forever.
No.
Is the kind of what that does.
Yeah.
Because he put command 10 back in this game, Rick, even after all the nonsense he caused in Warmaster.
Yeah.
Still put it into the game, but nobody had it permanently.
No. Yeah.
So even if there was a chance of... and one thing you'd have to do with this, in the same way with the Dark Elves, you can't then allow them to dodge it by picking an item that gave them a reroll. So you can't give them the Hannibal rule, but then they can dodge it by taking something.
Personally, I think that is a thing that I mean that's something in an event.
But that's a tournament thing.
That's a tournament thing. Yeah. It's like you there shouldn't be a magic item that undoes an army rule. It's like that's an unofficial points. That's an unofficial 1+ to that army, isn't it?
So I mean, I'll explain for the record that the issue I've had, and I think that there's a general acceptance that maybe giving something like the Hannibal rule to High Elves is probably the way to go.
I'll be behind it.
But the problem is that people want a ready-made package that deals with all the command 10, not just one.
Yeah.
So I'd argue that Wood Elves have already got enough of a disadvantage anyway.
Because they can't. Their command 10 character can't order command 10 to everything in the army.
So it's command 9 for the non-living stuff.
Non-living stuff, yeah.
And the Dark Elves,
yep.
If you take the scepter off them,
yep.
I'd say that they've got a big enough fucking negative.
That's a pretty hard negative. Yeah. It's like,
so they don't need any more negatives.
Like if you double and you end up killing a character, who could be on anything, that's pretty harsh.
That's pretty harsh. So, so leave your High Elves at 180 points, maybe give them the Hannibal rule so it can go away.
Dwarves are less of a problem because they don't have cavalry.
Yeah, that's what I...
Yeah. Less of a problem.
Less of a problem, but I mean, I would argue that they're probably what I wouldn't worry about.
No.
It would only be if you somehow then managed to give them stuff that was like speed 30. Because at the end of the day, they're all foot sloggers, aren't they?
Yeah.
That your first order might be on a 10, but then the second order, it's going to be on like... You're going to be enemy near. Right. Second order, it's going to be 8, isn't it? At best.
No, at best, yeah.
At best, 8.
At best. Yeah, it's no other negatives, yeah.
So that's the normal general cavalry, 9-8.
Yeah.
And that's if it needs 2 orders. It could just be a 9. Whereas
so
this
with our slow rule, it would take our command 10 character, sending cavalry in 2 moves, it would take it to a 10-8 at best.
10-8 at best.
10-8 at best.
And then the third order is likely to be 6. Absolute best. Absolute
minus 3 for second order. So for third order, minus 3. No, so
minus 2.
And third order minus 3 rather than minus 2. So
then distance. You're gonna have at least one distance. At least one, probably more.
Why would you not? Yeah. Say it.
Well, you ordered them. If you haven't moved 6, it would be a 6 absolute best.
Absolute best.
Absolute best.
So it's not.
It's the 7 that
not
does
terrible
not
odds, but it's bad odds.
I mean, you could do now at the moment. You can do 10-9-7.
Yeah, and
that can go a fucking long way.
10-9-7 should work. Yeah.
Well, on average,
it does work. Yeah.
So I mean, it's something definitely to talk about. It's something if the community want to test, then feel free.
Yeah.
I don't know how it can make anything any better. It can't. It's not a buff.
No,
is it?
It's not a buff. It's not.
So, I mean,
it's not making cavalry cheaper. It's just giving them a negative.
And it's probably the simplest solution because you're not having to deal with everybody moving up like the old ones and stuff.
No. It could be. I could imagine.
But it will affect cold ones.
I could imagine it being a game's optional rule, like in the way that other optional rules.
So here's a good one for you because I like to think of like fringe cases. What happens if you give Marauders a banner that makes them 4 up? Do they suffer it now? Marauder curve.
Probably no.
I'd say probably yes.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. Space. Yeah.
So
pretty fringe.
Well, but you make your final cavalry 4 up, it's going to suffer.
Yeah. suppose. Yeah.
It's going to have to.
Yeah, it would have to, I guess. But blanket, the simplest solution. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so anyway, so with those couple of things, and definitely use the tournament pack. If there's something annoying you, like I've said this a few times about the Warmaster, the Warmaster event that we went to, Worcester.
Oh yeah.
That event's like no other event. Like the
cards.
scenarios, the cards are cool, but the scoring, it's just completely fucking left field. Apparently that's how it was always done on victory points or whatever, but that's his choice.
Yeah.
That's it. They just run it for 5 years that way, and that's the way it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, if Paul runs his events his way, if it's your event, you run it your way. If something's annoying you, run it without it. Make a rule that gets rid of it, or limits it, or does whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Put some objectives in terrain. Yeah. Make the middle of a table terrain and put something on it. Like there's a big wood in the middle with the fucking.
So while you're there, you want that wood.
You're fighting for the wood.
Fighting for that wood. Go get the cavalry to go in the wood.
Oh, yeah. So that's what. Yeah. Anyway, so that's. I know there's a lot of humming and hawing, especially from tournament players, especially around elves and especially around heavy cavalry, because that's where the kind of rubber hits the road. In tournament play.
Yeah.
The number of games I've had, like big games against people like Janus and Paul, the man who'll be king and stuff, where it just comes down to one big cavalry charge. Because if I can get into your cavalry with my cavalry, especially if I can get it in a favourable location, then I'm probably going to win the game. Yeah, because
you've done the right thing. You've done a good move.
Yeah, and sometimes it feels a bit too easy for a game to be settled turn 2 on a big cavalry charge.
Maybe overgeneralised, but okay, cool.
Just how it feels sometimes. You're in the game and you feel, well, this is a big fucking moment. If
this
this charge goes off,
this means more than something else. Yeah.
Then I'm likely going to win the game because I'm going to diminish his ability to do it to me, and I'm still going to have mine left probably.
Yeah. If that's your ace, you're serving your ace.
Yeah, exactly. So, if we could trim that down a little bit without breaking the game, so I think it's highly likely that knights end up getting limited for most people. And in fact, most cavalry, to some degree, get limited for most people over time.
I think that would be fair. I think it's not taking them away as a option. It's just we. Away, and it would make things like an army like Bretonians. It would make them more Bretonians. They would be a different choice. Bretonian, and remember the Bretonian knights. They must pursue charge.
Oh, they have their
that
troubles.
is a huge negative that people often don't think of.
Massive.
That that is really bad. Your troop, the troops, the only ones that matter to the army, you lose control of them.
We don't have control, do you?
Once they start, they are fighting and they keep going.
You can have your turn. We've talked about this a long time. It's hundreds of episodes in, so we've talked about everything eventually. Of course, So, if you've got like frenzy troops, like troll slayers or these fucking knights, you give them something really bad for them to charge. Yeah. Really, really, really bad.
Yeah, and they have to do it.
So they're charging you. You're on a hill. Yeah. You're in like column.
Yeah.
And they can only reach with one fucking stand.
Yeah.
But they still come in.
They got to do it.
And then they lose, and then you just reform and swallow them up.
Swallow them up and kill them for nothing. Yep.
That's it. Yeah. If you're playing the army, you're taking the risk of having no control of your troops.
Which is, to new players might not realise, but to experienced players is such a negative that, it's like that. Once they're in, they will not come back.
That's some good skill.
They'll leave it. Once everything else is dead, they'll come back.
I've seen people running backwards and stuff. Behind their lines. The knights are running backwards. Because not everybody plays just all knights. They have like a load of peasants and all the knights are facing backwards in case they manage to make a hole. They have to charge through.
Don't want to see.
Reversing into fucking battle.
It's okay, guys. If I don't turn around, I don't know it's there. I could never do something like that.
I've seen it.
Yeah, but I just couldn't. I'm like, come on. That's ridiculous. You
got to do what the game tells you to do.
Pushing it too far. Yeah.
Pushing it too far. Anyway, so I think that's it. I think we're feedback. Feedback via Facebook to Paul or warmaster.podcast@gmail.com or on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, get in contact with us. Let us know what you think. And I'm quite keen to add that slow rule into my tournament pack for my next event and see what happens.
We're just going to put on everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm running an event in October, and I'll be part of it. That'll be when I do the rules pack for the event. I'll be like, this is what we're doing. Also, I've got one or two other ideas.
It'll definitely shift the meta slightly. I don't think it'll break anything.
No, I just think that it gives a negative in a nice way to something that could be a perceived issue. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Will it make chariots better? Who knows? Who knows? But I mean, chariots, they struggle from their old terrain rules, don't they?
Yeah,
so as long as you've got terrain,
you really need terrain. You need linear obstacles for.
They can't go in anything.
They can't go in mud. They can't go in fields.
They can go on a hill.
Can't go in. Yeah, they can't go in things that cavalry can go in, and it's like they can't go in nothing.
Yeah, they really.
That's why they are the points they are. Yeah,
because they're only 5 points more than the other thing. That's,
on an open field, a chariot is way better. But put some mud somewhere, it's got a bad day.
Can't go in there. Mm-hmm. All right then. So that was episode 204.
204
with Paul and Barry, and we'll get you next time.
Yeah.
Two of you together, that's fine. But what if one of you is the monster?
Monster? They're British.
Two of you together, that's fine. But what if one of you is the